friends, welcome back to my channel. I am Ariana from Blacksheepmeet. Today we're going to do another very cozy, calm and collected stitch along. I figured since a ton of you had commented on my last one, even though it didn't have the most views or anything, it definitely got a lot of reactions and a lot of you really enjoyed this. So here I am. I'm trying to keep up with it a little later than I wanted to record this next one, but at this point, whatever I can get these in, I will. But I feel like this is a good time to do this because I know I got my Flosstube coming up in another week or so for the next one. So keep an eye out for that if you like my regular Flosstube videos. But I think what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to go back and look at my live streams and see what some of the bigger topics were of the week, where we had like some maybe big discussions or it was something really interesting to find out. So I have something to talk about today and I'm curious to see what everyone's opinion is on it. But the project that I'm going to be working on is New Normal. It is a long dog sampler. I am trying to get 1800 stitches done for July because I want to finish this by the end of the year. So every month it's 1800 stitches. I did hand dye the fabric myself and I am using a Silks For You hank, which is the variegated floss. And then of course I chose other colors that I wanted in my palette here to complement all these other little fine details throughout the piece. But I will have all the information listed down below, so if it's something you want to pick up yourself, it's there. So I'm gonna just stitch. I'm not planning to get a ton of stitching done, but a little bit of progress is a little bit of progress. But I guess let's get into the topic for today. One of the things that I had been wanting to chat about on stream, and of course if you want to hang out over there, all of that is down below. I am very prevalent on the purple app. Trying not to get shadow banned here, but if you want to go hang out, please go check down below and you can come hang out with me live 4 days a week. But we had a big conversation because there was something that I recently realized about myself, and I don't know if this is just something I've never paid attention to or if this is like a newer development. But I've realized that I am absolutely grossed out by hearing people eating food. I have recently been living with my mom. She has moved in with us in February because her husband had passed away back in November and she needed, a place to go where she can get some help with living situations. So she lives with us now. And I make dinner and everything like that. And so we all go eat, and I have my 2 girls and my husband, and I don't know if it's just because it's been so quiet or it's another person in the house, but I've noticed that when I can hear my mom eat, and it's nothing against my mom, but I think it's just something that I've noticed, when I can hear her eating, it grosses me. It grosses me out. It grosses me out. And I can't say that this is something new because, not completely, because I get grossed out hearing my husband eat, but he is military and they kind of learn to scarf down their food very quickly a lot of the times. So half the time, like the last 11 years that we've been married and living together, I can hear him eating and it absolutely bothers me. But I just thought it was him trying to scarf down his food. But now that I hear my mom eating, I'm realizing that this might be actually a thing. And I think it's taken so long for me to notice because normally there's like sounds happening. We always have like the TV on or we have our phones. Like, we're not a family who sits down and like, let's talk about the day. Like, to me, I'm like, you should do that all day long. Like, there shouldn't be a designated eating time when all I want to do is just sit and eat. Like, don't bother me when I'm hungry That's the least time you want to talk to me. And same goes for my husband. He gets very hangry when he hasn't eaten all day. So we're not that type of family. We like to have something going on while we can eat and be entertained at the same time. So there's usually noises. And I don't know why I've had like so much more like silent moments, but it's become very prevalent that this is something that bothers me. And so I was talking about it with the chat. They told me that there's a name for this, and I pulled it up so I don't forget what it is. It's called misophonia. It's the feeling of being grossed out by the sound of people eating, particularly chewing, and it's very, very common apparently. It says often repetitive or oral related triggers strong negative emotional and sometimes physical reactions. I find that I get very irritated when I hear these sounds of someone eating. It irritates me because in my mind I'm like, why are you chewing your food so loud? And it seems like such an irrational thought, right? Because I mean, of course, like I get it if you're eating chips or something, right? Those are going to be a very noisy food. But when it's like corn or chewing rice or, it's certain foods, I'm like, why can I still hear your chewing sounds? And it makes me so irritated. But apparently this is a thing and it's very common. As soon as I brought it up, I know it's a big trigger, more so with people not liking like the chewing motion, seeing people chew their food with their mouth open. I know a lot of people said that was a big thing for them. That doesn't bother me. Like chewing gums, things like that. It's more so like eating foods that aren't supposed to be meant to be loud is what it is for me. So I guess I'm kind of borderline on that. And I have noticed though, when it comes to my kids, like those things are okay. I don't know if it's because there's something that I actually made myself, so it's okay. But with my kids, I'm fine if I hear them chewing. I don't think honestly though I hear them chewing too often. They're pretty quiet eaters anyways. They're just noisy vocally, but I don't know what it is, why I'm not so annoyed with them. But when it comes to actual like people and adults, apparently there's something there. And again, it's okay, like if we have friends or whatever over, I probably never noticed it because we always have noise, we always have conversation, music. So it's never really super quiet to like hear people eating. But man, that was a big realization this week, and it grosses me out so much. And so now I'm really trying to have like headphones on, or like an audiobook playing or videos playing on my phone in my ears when I'm eating next to my mom, because I can't do it. I'm gonna have to figure out how to eliminate the sounds, because it puts me off my appetite too. Like I try to finish my food quickly because it starts to put me off my appetite. But tell me if that's something like any of you experience. I'm sure there's quite a few people that this happens to a lot, but am I weird just for it being adults and not my own kids? Because they definitely, if anyone eats crazy, it's definitely kids. It's definitely kids. So that was one thing this week that was a big conversation topic. We're always talking about food, honestly. One of my favorite things, apparently, that another realization is that I love to talk about food, but I mean, who doesn't? Who doesn't? We were talking about how to make hamburgers yesterday, and I was saying that I was going to make this specific type of hamburger where I use a brioche hamburger bun, and I just get the meat and I put an egg, right, to keep the hamburger together. I usually put a little bit of seasoning, sometimes some panko, it just depends. And I'll cook the meat in the pan. And then once the burgers are ready, I'll take those out and I'll put sliced onion, and I'll get those all nice and caramelized in all the little bits from the hamburger in the pan. And once those are caramelized, it's like easy assembly for the burger. You toast your brioche bun, and then you put the onions, and then I'll make a sauce. And the sauce is a mix of mayo, paprika, and garlic. And you just, it's like 1 to 1 to 1. And you mix that all together, and you put a nice big scooping on that on top of the onions. That burger is delicious. Easy peasy home burger. It tastes fancier than it is. It's inexpensive, and it's very quick to cook. We're always looking for those inexpensive quick meals, right? So that is like an easy peasy one to do. But that's my favorite way to make burgers. I feel like burgers, though, are very personal. They were talking about having eggs on their burger, and I was like, I've never tried an egg on my burger, but it sounds really good. Although I'm not a yolky person. I don't like runny yolk. I like scrambled eggs, and I'm getting more into a phase where I don't like them fully cooked. I do like them to be a little on the softer side, but not extremely runny. So I'd love to try an egg in my burger at some point. I think that would be delicious. But yes, we usually get into the food topics. I didn't make burgers tonight, though. I know I said I was going to last night, but I ended up making a basic burrito bowl just because I realized not everybody likes the onions. I am a huge onion lover. Onion is like one of my favorite things, but I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. And I realized I didn't have anything else to put on the burgers if someone didn't want onions. So I was like, you know what, let me make burrito bowls. So I just used one of the things of hamburger, and I cooked that up, but then I made some cilantro rice, and I got some black beans, some corn, and I got the roasted tomatoes in a can because I'm just using pantry stuff. I don't have a lot of fresh stuff on hand at the moment. So it was a pantry meal, I guess you could say. And I had a little bit of crema. And I didn't have any jack cheese. I would have loved some jack cheese, but that's all right. So yeah, so I just made some burrito bowls, essentially. And it was honestly really good. It was exactly kind of what I was craving a little bit. But maybe I'll make the hamburgers tomorrow, but I definitely got to go get some groceries first. I'm trying my best to plan ahead with meals right now because we all know those groceries are not getting any cheaper, and at this point we have an extra mouth to feed in this house for a while. So I'm trying to be better about planning out meals and just buying what I need to buy so that we're not eating out so much. It's so easy to just be like, I don't want to cook today, and then let's order McDonald's or whatever else is around. So I'm trying to plan out meals, especially easy meals, right? Something that doesn't take a long time, because I definitely have a lot on my plate as far as like wanting to get so much things done in a day. And lately time has been flying, and I don't know why. It's like I'll get up, I'll start my day, and then I'll do my workout, for example, and the next thing I know, it's like nearly 2 o'clock. And I'm like, great, I got like an hour and a half, if that, to work on stuff before dinner. And then I got to go cook dinner, and then by the time that's all done, it's like I have an hour before I go to stream and everything most days of the week. So days have been disappearing, and I am struggling to find the time. I finally have a breath of fresh air to like relax since I finished a lot of my responsibilities as of late. But now I'm battling finding the time to do the things I want to do. Otherwise, if I were to get into some of the games, I played a couple new games. A cozy one. I've got a really good cozy one for all of you. It's called The Wandering Village. It is a city builder, so it kind of gives like Age of Empires, Roller Coaster Tycoon kind of vibes. But basically, it's about a post-apocalyptic future, and the world has turned into like a poisoned planet. And there's this dinosaur that is wandering the world, and you have to make a city on its back. It is very cute, and it has a very extensive tutorial. I barely finished the tutorial, but I am told that it does get a little chaotic once things start to build up, and you start getting tons of villagers and you gotta make them homes. But it is very cozy. So if you're looking something to relax to, it is on PC, on Switch, I believe. They just came their 1.0 patch upgrade. I don't know what you would call it, but they came out with tons of new stuff, released that recently. So if you're looking for a cozy game, highly recommend that one. Books, I have not been reading books. I kind of got out of that excitement and stuff that I was in, although I did end up running into Chinese dramas, short Chinese dramas, and I'm a bit addicted at the moment. They're just they have such good hooks. When you see them, they show you just enough to make you want to keep watching. Like, they'll give you a good 20 to 30 minutes of it, and by then, like, you're invested, right? And you're like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen to this couple? What is this prince gonna do? Or what's that hot CEO is he gonna rescue her? So I'm a bit obsessed the last 2 days, which is why I meant for this to like be recorded yesterday, but I ended up falling into a rabbit hole. So I've watched a couple at this point, and I got a list because of course there are people in my community who are already into this stuff, and as soon as I mentioned it, they got really excited. And they've already given me a few suggestions, and they've heard of some of the ones I've watched already. So I'm probably gonna be into those for a little bit. I did just watch one, and of course, if these sound good to you, I will link them down below. I can't remember the names off the top of my head because they're very long names, but the one I really liked was about a woman, and she is married secretly to the boss, the CEO boss of a company, and he ends up cheating on her, and she finds out. But it's because nobody knows that they're actually married. And so she gets upset, of course, right? And she secretly gets him to sign the divorce paperwork. And so she has 30 days to like get away, right? She has 30 days to stay with him before the divorce is settled. And in the meantime, she ends up running into this other big time CEO, and he is like helping her and like interested in her. So there's that one. That one I think I have another 20 minutes of at the end. There was that one, and then there was another one I just finished as well. Oh, it was about a It was about a gangster, like, mob boss, and it starts where, like, he gets into a fight and then gets on a bus, and she is the bus ticketer, and so she sees that he's injured, and she's like, oh, are you okay? Like, let me help you. And he's enthralled by her. He's absolutely like zoned in to what she's saying and doing, and he's like, aren't you afraid that I'm bad? And she's like, no, you would have been arrested if you were. And then he's like, well, what about the big mob boss or whatever? And she's like, oh, I'm not afraid of him. Little does she know that the bus stops and all his men are outside, and she's like, you're the big mob boss. And he's like, yes. And so he's like, I need to know your name because you're my future wife. And she's like, you're ridiculous. Like, get out of here. And so he's like, I'll find you again. And she goes home. Turns out she has a boyfriend. And he's like this poor guy. And he's trying to like work hard to like buy them a house so they can get married. But this mob boss guy is like absolutely in love with her, and he's trying to whisk her off her feet. And so that one I really enjoyed. I will say they're so cheesy though. These shows, they're like a couple hours long, like 2 or 3 hours. And usually it's on one of those apps where you like buy coins to like watch each 1-minute episode. But little did I know that you can actually Google it and find the whole thing for free. So that's how I've been watching these. But they are very cheesy. The acting can be a little cheesy. Some of the effects and some of the like dramatics are just too much. But I will say it's, what did someone say? It's like a train wreck that you can't look away kind of thing. So I've been having a lot of fun with those. It's been a nice little change up. I would love to find some more shifter ones. I know I've seen those with like werewolves and stuff. I know there's some of those out there that I've come across before, but I didn't know that if you Googled it, you would find them for free. So I'm hoping to find them again and go back and fully watch them. So we'll see. But I am reading one book right now. I just started it. It's an audiobook. It's apparently I fell into like dragon romances because the last 2 have been about dragons. So the other one that I was reading was very YA-ish. I didn't like it, even though it was an adult book. But this one, it seems pretty good so far. But I'm sure if I finish it before my next Flosstube, I will talk about it there. But I'm curious to see where it'll go. I'm hoping it'll be really good, because at first I didn't think I would like it. I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm the most into like dragon romance stuff. This is my first experiences with it, but I don't know. I'll give this one a try and see how it goes. But that's in the book department and the watching department. Other than that, I mean, there's always things going on, right? There's a lot of things going on. It's hard to summarize at the end of the week, so I'm going to take better notes, but this was like a spur of the moment idea of like, I should just talk about those really good points we had during the week over here. Just in case too, like people who do come to my streams do also watch my videos. And sometimes they're not always there for the streams, so this kind of would be like a recap of what happened during the week on the streams. So I figure we'll do this. Maybe I'll leave everybody with one more thing since we're just about at our 30 minutes here. But what's everyone's favorite dessert? I am a big sweet tooth, so I love me all kinds of things. I've noticed that pastries and donuts are my favorite though. I love me a really good donut. Cupcakes, oh, I could do cupcakes too though. But pastries for sure. And I'm just bringing it up because we talk about so much food. But it's funny that at one point I used to be a baker. I used to work as a baker for 8 years, and I did go to culinary school right after high school. That was supposed to be my original career, you know, where they tell you in high school, like, pick something that you want to do and go to college for it. So I went to trade school and I became a pastry chef. But here and now, like, these are the things I'm doing now, which is totally not anything to do in a kitchen. But maybe that's why I like to talk about food so much. I do enjoy it and I do love it, but my passion and love for baking has definitely disappeared, sadly. I do not desire to bake anymore. I think that's all results of burnout for the most part. And now I love being creative, but I have so many different ways to be creative at this point. So I definitely hope that joy does come back at some point or another, but you know, it's okay to change your mind for sure. All right, everyone, I just got a knot in my thread, so I guess that works for today. It is 30 minutes in. I'm going to keep these at 30 minutes for now. Maybe one day we'll get to an hour when these get a little more pickup, maybe. But at least hopefully this got you a little stitchy break. So I hope whatever projects you may have been working on while listening, I hope you got some progress in on this. If you have any topics you want me to talk about, please put them in the comments. I will definitely try to squeeze in whatever suggestions I get next time I do these. But thank you all so much for spending time watching this video. It means so much to me. It really does. Time is so valuable. And I say this all the time. Time is so valuable. So the fact that you're spending any amount of time here is absolutely soul touching. So thank you so much. And I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye.